What's up, everyone? It's me, your Sulichi John Valencia, and welcome back to Chule Diaries. Mega Mega Love Shoutout, heated rivalry fans. Yes, the heat is still on because we're going to do a reaction video for heated rivalry audition and how the cast landed to their role. So let's see the history and let's go back, go down memory lane, if that's how they call it. Yes. But before proceed, guys, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like our video and also subscribe to Truly Asia Diaries. So what are we waiting for? Let's go check this out. All right, we are playing in 3, 2, 1, and go. Here
When the
is
casting
this.
call went out for Heated
Oh
Rivalry,
my God, they look so young there.
nobody could have
But it's
predicted the
just months
wild
ago.
stories we are about to spill. But before we get to the jaw-dropping auditions of
Oh, this is the short story, short film of
Connor Story and Hudson
Hudson
Williams,
Williams.
let's start with someone who was living a
Oh, Kip!
completely different life just weeks before landing their role. Robbie Graham was working a base-level sales job in downtown Toronto, grinding through 9 to 5 shifts before he found
Oh my God. And Kip is also hot, guys. Let's be honest. I love the tandem with Scott Hunter, because their love story is kind of, a fairy tale love story.
himself on a hit TV show. The routine was relentless. Graham was juggling audition tapes in the evenings after exhausting workdays, trying to break into an industry that felt impossible to
The passion of, an actor. Like, you really have to juggle between jobs and you just need one break. And look at this face card.
crack. When the audition for Heated Rivalry came through, Robbie didn't even audition for the role he eventually landed. He originally read for Scott Hunter, and here's where it gets
Oh.
hilarious. Robbie had grown out what he describes as a really shitty mustache and was sporting a bit of a mullet because he thought it would give him that classic hockey bro look. The most
Oh my God, he auditioned for Scott Hunter. But you know what? In the book, guys, Scott Hunter is blonde. Because I started reading the book, and the way that the author described Scott Hunter, he is tall, blonde, and white. So I'm not sure why they changed it in the series, but it still goes out so well.
absurd part is that the showrunner, Jacob Tierney, saw past the crappy mullet and the terrible mustache and said, let's see this guy for Kip instead. So Robbie had to
Aw.
shave and get a proper haircut for his next audition, which was successful and led to more chemistry reads with other actors auditioning for Scott. And that's when Robbie met Francois Arno,
Oh,
virtually for the
Francois! Oh
first
my
time.
God, he's also perfect for Scott Hunter, even though in the book it's a different description, but he embodied the character itself.
Not knowing that his life was about to change completely. Within weeks, he'd be leaving that downtown Toronto sales job behind forever, trading cold calls for a role on a show that would explode in popularity. However, not everyone had to go through the same audition process to land their roles. Francois Arno didn't audition for Heated Rivalry at all. Instead, showrunner Jacob Tierney called him directly with an offer. But here's where it gets interesting. Francois was supposed to be working on another movie that suddenly fell through, which made him available right when Heated Rivalry needed him. Jacob had already been
Oh, that's
auditioning
so good. It was meant for Francois.
other actors for the role, but he couldn't get Francois out of his head. Jacob called Francois and said, "Can you read this today?" This was maybe 6 weeks before shooting was supposed to start. Jacob
Wow.
admitted, "I've auditioned people for this, but I keep hearing your voice. I didn't write this for you, but whenever I read it, all I hear is you saying it." So they
Wow, that is so
They
good.
set up a chemistry read
Oh,
with Robbie
this
Graham,
scene,
who
oh
was
my God.
already cast as Kip. Francois said that
The
even on the
episode
Zoom
5
call,
scene.
Robbie was incredibly open, available, able to sustain eye contact, and charming in a way that made
Look at that chemistry, guys. This is just photo, not even a video, but the chemistry. It's so good. Kip and Hunter.
all the flirty rom-com lines sound natural. Francois mentioned he forgot there was even a script because Robbie made everything sound like it was just coming out of his mouth, and right there on that Zoom call, they were told, "Great, see you next week."
Oh, that's so cool.
Francois went from available actor to cast member in a matter of days, and they barely had time to spend together before shooting began. But the casting surprises don't stop there. Another actor brought something incredibly unique to her audition, making her unforgettable. Cassinia Daniela Carlamova's journey to playing Svetlana began
Yes, Svetlana, the how to say, the girl of Ilya Rosanov.
with an audition that didn't even tell her which show she was auditioning for. She received sides for a project labeled simply HR. The character description caught her attention immediately. A strong Russian woman who would be speaking both English and Russian
But she's
throughout.
so good
As a
as
native
well.
Russian speaker, Carlamova felt an
She's a
instant connection to the
native
role. This was the
Russian.
kind of part she'd been waiting for. After her initial audition, there was a delay. Weeks went by with no word. Then in May, the callback came. This is where
Wow.
things got wild. She was asked to perform a lengthy monologue in both English and Russian. The scene was extensive, requiring her to switch between languages seamlessly while maintaining the character's emotional arc. And right in
They're so good.
the middle of her callback, the Wi-Fi on the casting director's end crashed and the connection dropped.
my
Carlamova
God.
had to wait, staying in character, keeping her energy up, not knowing if they'd even seen her performance. When they reconnected, she had to start again, but she nailed it. The casting
You know what, guys? Those kind of, like delays, but you really have to wait for it. There's always a right moment for you. No, it's like God's perfect timing.
team was impressed not just by her bilingual performance, but by how she handled the technical interruption with complete professionalism. Within a week or two of getting the offer,
Wow.
she was already on set filming. But what happened
It's so nice to look back to what really happens, and then when we hear the story of how they got the role, it gives us more inspiration, and we love them more than the character. Oh my God, this is Ilya and Shane already, Connor and
to
Hudson.
the two leads is what makes this casting story absolutely legendary. Connor's story was living paycheck to paycheck in Los Angeles, working as a
Oh, he's
waiter at
originally
Laurel
from
Grill in
LA.
Culver City. The job at the restaurant wasn't going well. In fact, he was barely holding on to it.
So 8 months ago,
That
you're
was
a
the
waiter
Golden Globes moment.
at a restaurant.
Yep. And
Wow.
during the audition process, even like a callback in, 2 callbacks in, I was still working there.
Connor had dropped the ball on service, gotten a bad review from a table, and his boss sat him down for
I love his look here. It's so subtle. That curly hair was perfectly done with that leather jacket and a weave collar.
a
So
serious
good.
conversation. It was a final warning. One more mistake, and he was out. Then the audition for Heated Rivalry came through. Connor read the breakdown, saw it was a show that heavily involved intimacy, and made a bold decision for his self-tape. Without being asked or in the instructions, Connor took off his shirt. He recorded his entire audition shirtless.
Oh
His
my
reasoning was
gosh.
simple. If they're making a show with this much physical intimacy, the casting team needed to see what the actors actually looked like. He could have come across as unprofessional or been dismissed entirely,
Yes,
but
that's
Connor
right.
figured if he was going to shoot his shot, he might as well go all in.
Ooh, of course. If I am the one um, judging the audition tape and you will show up like this, I won't take it as unprofessional. Just kidding. But wow, look at that physique.
And it worked. That shirtless self-tape got him into the room for chemistry reads.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, Connor wasn't the only one working a restaurant job during this process.
Yes.
Hudson Williams was also waiting tables, hustling through shifts while pursuing an acting career.
You see those comments? The food is great. There's a server there named Hudson, and he really needs to look into modeling. The man is gorgeous. You see? Oh my
When
God.
Hudson got the call back for Heated Rivalry, he had no idea his life was about to change most unexpectedly. The showrunner, Jacob Tierney, knew from the beginning that this show would live or die based on the chemistry between Shane and Ilya. They couldn't cast these roles separately and hope it worked out. They needed to find two actors who could work
Look at
together
that
in the same
chemistry. Oh
show
my
with that
gosh.
inexplicable spark.
Oh my god, I remember this scene. Oh my, I think I'm gonna watch the series again, the season 1 again
That
to
made their
reminisce
connection
this.
feel real. Connor read with multiple actors wanting to play Shane. The first two chemistry
Oh.
tests were fine, but something was missing. Then Hudson Williams came on screen for the chemistry read and everything shifted. Jacob Tierney
Wow.
noticed it too and texted Connor directly after the read.
Yeah, even Jacob texted me at that point and was like, "So who do you like?" And I was like, "Hudson, obviously." And then he was like, "Yeah, me too."
But it wasn't
Oh, that is so cool.
just Connor who felt that spark. Hudson had the same
Oh, this is their
reaction. Both
Golden Globes
actors knew
moment.
immediately that they'd found their counterpart. But here's where the story gets
Oh, this is
absolutely
episode
wild
2.
because Hudson said something about Connor after that chemistry test that nobody expected. And even now, when asked about it in interviews, there's hesitation before it gets revealed. During one interview, Hudson referenced the comment he made to Jacob after reading with Connor and another possible Ilya, but he couldn't remember the exact wording. He asked Jacob if he remembered. Jacob replied, "I do, but are we going to say it out loud?"
What is
Hudson
it?
pushed for Jacob to repeat it, and Jacob finally said what Hudson told him after that chemistry test. The other
That he
guy was
was good.
good, but Connor felt like he was going to pin me down and me.
Oh my god. That was so good.
That was the moment and the exact reaction the show needed. It wasn't just about two actors who could deliver lines well together. It was about
Look at
finding two
this
people whose
chemistry.
chemistry was so intense, so
Yeah,
real, that it
totally
translated
agree.
through the
Oh
screen
my
in
god, this scene.
a way that felt undeniable. Jacob Tierney knew instantly that he'd found Shane and Ilya, saying they were essentially cast at the same time. It was very clear to us that we needed to find Shane and Ilya together. This show lives and dies with them, so we needed to make sure that this worked together.
Oh my god. And fun fact that they don't really play hockey, you know? Like they don't have official training about it.
There are terrific actors who are in different shows. You need to find the people who are going to be together in the same show, and that's what the two of them had quite instantly. Within weeks,
That
Connor
is so
went from
true.
being on Final Warning at Laurel Grill to filming intense, intimate scenes as Ilya Rozanov. Hudson went from waiting tables to playing Shane Hollander in a show that would become a sensation, and that
It was really meant for them. I'm having goosebumps hearing this backstory of how they got their roles and looking back now with the attention that they're getting. Definitely, it was not an easy success though. It's not an overnight success, but being in heated rivalry and connecting to the audience, that's what is the success all about.
instant chemistry they felt during the audition translated perfectly to the screen. Both actors prepared intensely for their roles. Connor read Jacob's scripts first during the early audition process, then got all 6 episodes as things progressed. Before filming started, he finished the first book involving Shane and Ilya. Hudson did the same, reading Heated
I hope
Rivalry
season 2 will
multiple
be
times,
longer,
annotating
more
scenes on his Kindle,
episodes.
studying every detail. But he deliberately didn't read the long game yet. He wanted to discover what happened to Shane and Ilya as he filmed, playing it as he went rather than knowing the future.
That's good.
He saved that book for right after they finished shooting. However,
That's so true because if he read everything, then when he's doing the character, he knows how it will end. So it might shift, how he will act it as Shane.
one
Very
cast
smart.
member came in at the very end of the process and didn't have to go through
Oh,
any
there's
of
the
this.
mom
Christina
and,
Chang was one of the last to join, and she didn't
the
audition at
scene.
all.
Oh my
The
God,
role
that
was
was so
offered
good.
directly to her. She was sent the scripts, read them, and said yes. Then she had a phone conversation with Jacob Tierney that sealed the deal. She said, instantly, I was like, I really like this guy. He's smart, he's funny, he's witty, he's quick, which I really appreciate. We talked about his view of the character and what I appreciated about her, and we were pretty much on the same page from minute 1. And just as Christina took the time to understand her character, Connor and Hudson did the same, and that raw, honest chemistry between them is exactly what made this
I
show
love
work.
these cute moments of them. There you have it, guys. That is Heated Rivalry Audition and how the cast landed their roles. Oh my god, it's so nice to know the backstory of how these amazing characters landed to their roles. And we saw how God's perfect timing come into place, and we see the things in common with them. They're all normal people. Like for example, Hudson and Connor, they are waiters in a restaurant and landed on a role and get that chemistry. They have that the same background that makes it more inspiring and makes us more love them more. Did I say a lot of more there? But yeah, that's all I can say. Like, it's really nice to know the backstory of how they get their roles. And now that they're connected to the audience and we're waiting for season two, oh my God, I hope they give um, more episode in season two and they stay with the core, the core of the storytelling of Ilya and Shane or Kip and Scott, and all the characters that will be added will be the same character development, because that's what we are hooked with this show and the way that they're giving us the story and those communication. It's not just about the sexy scene, but it's an overall core of the show. So I'm so excited for that. And what can you say about this Heated Rivalry audition and how they landed to their roles? You can comment down below, guys. And of course, if you have any other requests, just comment down below and we will check that out for you. Once again, my name is John. This is Shoelace Diaries. I'll see you on my next one. Spread happiness, guys. Bye for now.